So let us start. So we were discussing the ISO 9001 requirements in the last class. So we up to handling part we studied. The next is the quality records. So, uh, the steps that are taken in order to control the quality of the process, which is essential in order to be able to confirm the quality of our product to the client. So, in order to check or to control the quality of the processes that are being followed, the records of the steps need to be taken. Those records are known as quality records. So the recording of the steps which are taken in order to control the quality of the process, which in a way is essential in order to conform to the quality that the client is demanding. Those records which are being taken for all the steps being followed is known as the quality records. Next is the quality audits. So we all know that whenever we are making a product, we need to audit its quality. So the audits of the quality system, they needs to be carried out in order to ensure that the quality has been maintained and the quality is effective. Last is the training. So training needs to be identified and it needs to be met. Met means training needs to be given, and whatever training is given to the candidates, they need to confirm also that yes, they have taken the training, they have followed the procedures, and they have successfully completed the training. So these are all the various requirements that are there when it comes to giving a ISO 9001 certification. These are the 18 parameters which are checked, which are seen, which are studied when they give a ISO 9001 certification to any organization. So if I summarize the salient features of ISO, so what are the features, salient features? The first is the document control. Document is the most important part. We are all seeing that. Everything is needing to be documented. The design was needed to document it. The contract was documented. Then the inspection is documented. Process control is documented. Quality record is documented. Quality audit is documented. Training is documented. So document control is the most important feature in ISO 9001. So if any organization have this habit of documenting each and every step they are doing, it is assumed that it is likely that they will get the certification. Just like in our NB also, we needed to document each and every step which we were doing. So all the documents which are concerned with the development of a software product, they should be properly managed, authorized, controlled, and documented. So for this, a configuration management system must be there. Next is everything needs to be planned manner. So proper plans should be made, and then only we should progress according to the plans. and also our progress should be monitored. So everything should go as per plan and proper planning should be there. Suppose one team is going in east direction, another team is going in west direction, it should not be the case. Proper planning is there and every progress it will be monitored and every progress needs to be go according to the plan. Then a proper review is there. So all the documents which are there, which across all the phases, they should be checked, they should be reviewed for whether they are effective or not or they are correct or not. So only document preparation is only not there. We are preparing the document and we are always reviewing the document, whether the document is right or wrong, whether the document is effective or not. And with this review process comes a very important process, that is testing. We are in constant testing phase. So this product, they are always tested against this specification. So it is always needed to test everything which we are doing. So these are the salient features of any 9001 requirements. If you just summarize it, these are the salient features. And if you look these 4 points, these under these 4 points, these 18 points has come. Okay. Fine. Now we will move on to the next topic. So this ISO, they revised their quality standards in the year 2000 in order to tune the standards they had in 9000 specification. So few modifications was there. The major change which was done in this 2000 standard is that they included a mechanism for continuous process improvement. In our, when the team came for NBA also, they looked for this thing, continuous process improvement. It may happen that in 2013 when the college was started, they did not do good marks, they increased their academic quality a little bit by 2014-15, like this they will always see that whether from the past year the improvement procedure is there or not. That is, suppose in this year we have got the NBA and we are getting relaxed, we are sitting back, we teachers, we are sitting back, that okay, we have now got 2 years, NBA is accredited, again after 2 years we will look what we will do. No, from this year only we will again have to start working so that continuously the processes can be improved, and again when 2023 comes then we can apply and we can get. So it's a continuous process improvement is there, and nowadays any accreditation or any certification, they always include this mechanism of continuous improvement, that is continuous process improvement. And also in this modification of 2000 standards, there is an emphasis on the top management role. That is, the various roles, the various levels of the organizations they will play, they have predefined roles. Suppose a problem is occurring, I am always accusing the manager, and suppose the manager is working under the direction of the director or the CEO, but I am always accusing the manager. So it should not be done. So if each and every level of this organization, they should have a proper well-defined role, and all the top management levels, they will have an individual role, and all these roles also will be checked. So this new 9000 2000 standard, they are the old standards are there only, with a few fine tuning in Tuning in means in two aspects. The major aspect is that they will see that whether from the past certificate to the new certificate, the process is continuous improvement process has been followed or not. And second is they will say that the different levels of the organizations, each and everyone has a role to play or not, and each and everyone should play a role in that process improvement. Okay. This is entirely about the ISO 9000 and ISO 9000 everything concept about the certification, what are the requirements, necessity to get the certification, the 18 documents which we need to prepare and keep, how will we can get this certification, why is it necessary for a software industry to get this certification and all that. Now we will talk about the various shortcomings of the ISO 9000 certifications. Every process in the world, they are not pitch perfect. Each and everything had a few shortcomings also. Okay. So even though this ISO 9000, it is widely used for making an effective quality system in an organization, but still it suffers from a few shortcomings, even if it is a few, but still it suffers. The first shortcoming is ISO 9000, they require a software production process to be followed, but they does not guarantee that the process will be of high quality or not. That means I will write it and then explain. We all have seen that this ISO 9000, they always check that few processes have been followed or not. They will always check that whether this thing has been followed, this document is present, that thing is there, okay or not, like this. But they cannot give a guarantee that it is a high quality process or a low quality process. At the end, a high quality product will be delivered or a low quality product will be delivered. So it does not have any guideline for defining a process. It can only check whether the process is followed, yes or no. But they cannot define any process. So this is a major shortcoming, because if they would have defined a process and that process is followed by the organizations that needed to get the certifications, then the checking would have been more strong, that the process is defined, it is being checked. But they can only check what process one organization is followed, but they cannot guarantee whether that process is a good quality process or not. So we say that this ISO certification process, it is not a foolproof. Since it cannot give us a quality understanding, it is not a foolproof. So it is likely that variations will be there. Different agencies, suppose what problem is, they do not follow, there is no such thing called international accreditation agency exist. So no international accreditation agency exists. I will explain what is the meaning. That means, suppose in my country, there will be variation in the form of awarding this certificate, because different accreditation agency is there. Among those agency, different register is there. One register may be very strict, one register will be very lenient. So in a country, different according to the agencies also, this certification will get deferred. That is, one organization, in spite of being a very good, still he is not getting the certificate because his agency or register was very strict, and the other person who is not that much good, but he got the certificate because the register was simple. So for this, since a single register is there, if it has been a group of registers, then it has been okay. For NBA, each and every department, they give a combination of registers. One from this college, one from that college, another from this college, like this. So the chances are very likely less that everyone will be lenient. So more or less combination of lenient and strict they give. So like this, what exists is there, since there is no international agency present, so what happens is there is a variation in the certificates which are awarded, because there is a variation or there is a difference between the different agencies that exist, and among those the different registers that are part of those agencies. Okay. Now, one very bad impact is there, just like I was saying. Suppose we applied for NBA and we got the NBA, and if we start thinking that fine, we got the NBA, this NBA is valid till 2023, suppose, and 3 years or 2 years, I can just sit and relax, and again after 2 years, I will start working on a few documents. Is this the process? Because in these 2 years, when you are giving a relaxation in all the things you are preparing, you will always lag behind, and in the process, how will you improve your process? You will obviously decline your improvement process, because in the last 2 years you maintained everything. When you got the award, you stopped maintaining for 2 years, and again you start maintaining, and when they will check from 2020 to 20 through what progress you have done, there I will get a big zero. So what happens is, when the problem is, after getting any award or any certificate, people generally, they become so proud, or they stop working on it anymore. They stop working for the future. एक अवार्ड मिल गया टॉपर का, बहुत अच्छा हुआ, बस हो गया, अब पढ़ाई पढ़ाई पे उतना ध्यान नहीं है, बस मिल तो गया. This should not be the case. So what happens is, after getting this ISO certification, the organizations, they often, like they start believing that since a good process is there, so the development will always result in good things. So since good process is there, my development has become person independent. But is the development entirely person independent? No, because it is the persons in the development team who need to follow the good processes. It is the person in the testing team who need to follow the good processes. It is the person in the designing team who need to follow the good processes. So merely just declaring or establishing or defining good processes is not sufficient. We need to be dependent on the persons who will follow the processes. So any developer, he needs to be very effective as being or playing the role of a developer in performing any software development activity. Because what happens is, in manufacturing unit there is no such problem, because in manufacturing unit there is a link between the process quality and the product quality. But because once that process is calibrated, it can run again and produce quality goods. Suppose I have a machine, I am setting that machine to be at good readings, and that machine will run, and I will feed him with some raw material, and my machine will give me the output. So if my machine is calibrated at the right measurements, so obviously I will get the right product. But it happens in case of manufacturing unit. Suppose I have a pasta manufacturing machine. For that, it is said that I need to give 1 kg of flour. With that, I will give 200 ml of water. I am giving that, and the measurements, cup and all things which was designed in the process, I am setting my measurement uh, of that machine at the exact places where it is asked. And if I turn on the switch, automatically, since I have placed the in the measurement machines only, I have placed all the right things, they will make the pasta and give me the pasta as a product. So if the calibration is done, it can run over and over and produce good quality products. But this is not the case for software, because software, they require special expertise, they require people who are expert in that domain, so they require domain expertise. But and also in case of software product, what happens is, when you are making a software product, you need to be, every individual, they need to be educated, they need to be experienced in order to make, that is in order to test the product, design for the product, code for the product. Everyone needs to be of an engineering, computer science engineer and all. But when it comes to manufacturing unit, you will see large companies or large industries where a lot of laborers are working. At the end, they will give you the shoe that you were wanting. So they will just fit the design in the uh, 1 minute. So they will just feed the design in the machine. Automatically the machine is demanding some leather. If it is a leather shoe, that leather one person is holding and inputting to the machine, another person is doing the stitching, another person is pasting the sole. So even if someone is not that much educated, they can run the industry. But this is not the case for software industry, because for software industry, everyone needs to be individually, they need to have skills, and they need to be experienced, they need to be educated. So software industry is definitely a what will I say, a person dependent thing. So every person should have their feet on ground. This means that after getting one certificate, no one should feel that I am the king of this world, I have got the certificate. No, he or she should immediately start working, so that they can again improve their organization in a much better fashion. So each and everyone should be working. Now, another major shortcoming is the first point which we have just said, that it cannot guarantee you that continuous process improvement, whether this continuous process improvement has been followed or not. 1 minute. Whether this continuous process improvement has been followed or not, it can check, but it cannot quantify the improvement. Okay, so these are the various shortcomings of the ISO 9000 certification. Anyone has any query in understanding the topics which we have just discussed? Okay, wait for a minute, I need to take the screenshot first. I don't know why people are writing their names in the chat box. So it's I think this is the first class after a long time which they are attending. So they do not even know that the past classes I have started taking the attendance in online. So that is why they are writing. And it's very much, I mean, what will I say? It's very much disappointing that they don't even know what is being done in the class. And one person started writing and everyone is started writing, irrespective of the fact that since the last 2-3 classes I am taking the attendance in LMS only. Anyways, what will I say? Okay, so these are the shortcomings of the ISO 9000 certification. Okay, so now I will share your attendance first. Okay, so everyone mark your attendance first. Okay. Anyone left to mark the attendance? Anyone left to mark the attendance? No, na? Okay, fine. Okay. So this was all about this second module. Sorry, the third module. So earlier we have finished module 1, which was of testing, coding and all that. Now after that we started with module 3, which is of software reliability, the different hazards, the different complexities, the reliability models which we have studied and all that. Fine. So this is the end of this module 3. So you have 6 modules in your syllabus and we have completed so far 2 modules. Now in the next class, we will start with module, 1 minute. Okay. So in the next class, we will start with module 4, which is the project management module. The software project management chapter, we will start with that. So anyone has any query from module 1 or module 3, the two modules which we have finished so far? Anyone has any query? He or she may ask me. Okay. So since no one has any query, I will stop today's class. Thank you so much for attending the class, and we will meet again in the next day, and in the next day we will start with a new module, and according to your syllabus, 2 modules are finished, and the third one I will start with in the next class. Okay. Thank you so much for ending the class.